Hey guys, so that is it. Porsche have officially acknowledged that my agreement has now ended and they no longer have any interest in the Taycan, and neither do I because I don't own it. But the question is, what next? There is so much choice out there right now, so many options, but a lot of factors influencing that decision-making process. And I wanted to follow the journey to getting my next main fancy car through the channel and document this as much as possible to help you guys out in terms of the decision-making process and what factors to consider given my situation. Appreciate everybody's situation is different, but hopefully the options I present will help you to consider potential options available to you when you're making the decision, if you're making the decision as well. So let's go. And of course, if you want to follow, do consider sub. Thank you. So that's it. I'm without an EV. In my collection right now, I have 2 petrol cars, 1 diesel car, and 2 motorbikes. You could argue that's still probably more vehicles than any one man needs. But when you enjoy them, and it's a bit of an addiction stroke affliction, it is hard not to accrue them, unfortunately. And I would say enjoy them whilst you can, because the impression is, certainly the feeling I get, is that it's not going to be any easier going forwards, especially for those petrol and diesel, the combustion cars that we so cherish. So I'm without an EV right now, and I would absolutely consider another EV. I really enjoyed the ownership experience of the Taycan, highly recommended. Indeed, so many great things about owning an EV. The quietness of the car, how silent they are, how comfortable they are, how smooth they are. They're just great for around town. You can fill them up at home. Of course, you can't do that with one of these. And there's just something about them that gives you a little sense of, I guess, satisfaction that you're kind of doing something right, or certainly headed in the right direction, adopting those environmentally friendly credentials that are oh so required. And of course, yes, there's a big debate about whether or not they're more environmentally friendly in the long run, especially with those rare earth elements that they really lap up for those batteries, but hopefully technology will improve in that area. So I'm without an EV, and this leaves the conundrum that I have right now. Do I get another EV to fill the void of the Taycan, or do I go for something combustion and a little bit more crazy whilst I still can? Now, through work, I can actually get an EV on salary sacrifice, and that is an absolute no-brainer for EV ownership. If you can do it through salary sacrifice, then that is something you should absolutely consider, and it is a great way to own everything covered by that lease agreement, all the maintenance, charging in some cases, home charger installation. I already have one of those, but it is a great way to own a car. The challenge is you can't get a Taycan through that system. It would probably be one of the BMWs. For example, an i4, maybe the new i3 that's about to drop, or an iX. I do love the iX. It's a really divisive car, but I'm a huge fan of them. So something along those lines, or a really cheap and cheerful EV just to keep on the side. That's another option as well. But part of me, and it's the petrol head, the car fanatic within me, really still does desire to have a blast, a combustion-based blast while we still can. It seems to be getting harder and harder to drive combustion cars in the UK, in that car tax is going up for combustion cars, especially the most polluting of those combustion cars. Read into that the most fun combustion cars. Cars with more cylinders, more horsepower, like this one, sounding beautiful as always, and it's such good fun, it really is. Cars with more power, the bigger polluters being charged more, and you might see them banned from cities, more and more tariffs going on them, congestion charges, clean air charges, all of that good stuff. Believe it or not, this car with a V8 and just under 500 brake horsepower is ULEZ compliant. Who'd have thunk it? Yes, crazy, I know, but it is. It's ULEZ compliant. You can happily drive this through the streets of London. Is that system broken? Is it weird? I think it could be. That part of me, the petrol head within me, really wants to get on board with something fun and exciting, maybe a mid-engine bit of greatness before we don't get the chance to do so anymore. So this is my dichotomy, my internal monologue, my argument that is going on right now. What do I do in this respect? Do I get another EV? Do I sit with an EV for a while? Or do I take the plunge and get something mid-engine, combustion and fun? I'm not saying an EV isn't fun, they're quite good fun, but there is something about a mid-engine beast that I really do enjoy. Think McLaren, Ferrari, Lamborghini, all these fun cars that you can get on board with now and maybe not so easily in the future. Now, the other thing to note here as well is I am not in a PCP right now for the first time in quite a long time, in many years actually, and I do feel like it's a bit of a weight off my shoulders, this sort of permanent PCP finance cycle that is oh so easy to get into, but can afford you a better car than you would potentially be buying with cash, and also keep some cash back in the bank for investment or rainy days, right? Versus chucking it all into a car. So I've got a couple of options there, and that is to get on board with more PCP, get something really fancy, or maybe just buy something outright and be done with it. Now, PCP at the moment isn't great. Finance rates aren't great right now, and it's still a bit of a bind. If you PCP an EV, you're going to be looking at significant depreciation, but there are some cars out there that really are holding their value very well. Now, the other day, courtesy of a good friend of mine, Chris, we went out for the first time in my life in a GR Yaris, a Gen 1 GR Yaris. And honestly, that car blew me away. It was so good, so much fun, and ticked so many boxes. The handling, the build quality, the fun, the speed. Honestly, it's a 3-cylinder car, right? So I got into that car thinking, it can't be all that, can it? It can't be that good. But my word, I was absolutely gobsmacked, and that's why so many petrol heads love these cars. This was a Gen 1. You can get a Gen 1 now for about 25k. They really held their value. They have really held their value. If you want a Gen 2 now, you're going to be looking at overs. They're sort of between 46, 47, maybe 40, 50 at a push. But it is a lot of car. The build quality of that car was, it just felt solid. It felt, everything about it felt right. It was a great place to be. And I've just seen an auto car, the GR Yaris has the #1 reputation for reliability right now, coming back with a 100% score, which is absolutely phenomenal for a car with a tiny little 1.6 3-cylinder engine that is boosted to within an inch of its life, you know, under quite a bit of stress, if you would imagine. Still working so well, but really, what a fun car that was. So even a car like that could be an option to tick for a while, to get on board and have a bit of fun, a fun car, a car that you can enjoy around the roads at the right speed, unlike a hypercar which really needs to be 80, 90 miles an hour plus to really come alive, you know, otherwise you're just spinning the wheels, right? So it is a real conundrum right now, and I wanted to kind of document this journey. I'll do multiple videos on this. There will still be some Taycan content coming, absolutely. I'm following the market as always on those cars. They're getting cheaper and cheaper by the day. Keep an eye on the Taycan Turbo GT, for example. Keep an eye on those Gen 2 Taycans. How are they coming down in price? But a lot of options out there right now. There really is. And the other thing as well is, never before have I known such a huge choice of amazing second-hand cars on the market that are now available at crazy prices. Prices that I never even thought possible. V12 Astons, V10 R8s, at prices that are so enticing. There is so much choice out there to get on board with and potentially not lose that much money at all. But that is it for this video. I just wanted to let you know the current situation, let you know where my head's at. I'd love to hear your comments below. Do get on board. What do you think is the right thing to do here? Appreciate there's so many different options depending on the choices that you have available. The choices that I have available might not be your choices, but there are so many options. So yes, that is it for this one. Do stay safe still. I'll see you on the next one, and bye for now.